Thank you, Shuby. All righty, ladies and gents, it is time for us to talk about The Iron Claw, the new A24 film written and directed by Sean Durkin, starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and Hunter Dickinson. How would you say that, Reg? Dickinson?
It's hold on, let me see. I think
See,
it's Dickinson.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Dickinson. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's Dickinson. Yeah, like
Okay,
Charles
so
Dickinson.
yeah, so starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Hunter Dickinson, Holt McCallany, who's playing
It's
Fritz von
Harris
Erich.
Dickinson, by the way. Yeah.
Harris Dickinson, excuse me. Playing Fritz von Erich, the father. You have Holt McCallany, who is better known from his role in Mindhunter. You also have Lily James, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, aka MJF, the wrestler, Chavo Guerrero, and Mara Tierney. That's like the last big name actor. All right, joining me is also, as you know from Pros Who Binge, Lyn Reg. And if you're just seeing the video clip review or the separate review of Iron Claw, make sure you check out the full episode of the Bros Who Binge Awards because we give out our best of 2023. But Reg, how you doing today, brother?
Doing well. You?
Doing all right, can't complain. Glad we saw this movie, like legitimately, because this was one of the best movies of the year, easily.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies of the year. Came really late at the end of the year, so I mean, but also that makes it a good push for this upcoming Oscars, unless that window already closed.
I don't think it did. I think it had to be released before, I think
it has to be released
before,
right before
Christmas, which it was in the
yeah.
Cannes. It was released out in Cannes and all the film festivals at the end of November, and it was released in LA and New York in the November, which gets you in the Oscars.
Get you in the Oscar race. So I mean, look, I went into it because of my great antipathy. My great antipathy.
You were like, oh no, Lyndon likes wrestling. He's making me go watch this stupid wrestling movie. It won't be good.
And look, I still don't like wrestling after watching this movie, but like I understand like the story of this family, and it was very impactful.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to get into, initial thoughts. And for me, I think this is more than a wrestling movie. Funny enough, I don't even think the wrestling really matters. Like, honestly,
that's what I was gonna say. Like honestly, like I think wrestling was only the venue to tell this family story.
Yep,
because
it was the vehicle.
I was gonna say it's not like wrestling can be excluded, but like it really doesn't really need to be shown at all.
You can't exclude it, but it's like I always say with The Dark Knight. You could have told the Dark Knight story as having Batman be a hitman, vigilante, secret agent, or having Batman be a spy and having the Joker be the world-ending threat to the spy. Like The Dark Knight doesn't rely on its comic book, its counterpart. That's a movie that, honestly, I believe the Dark Knight franchise was Christopher Nolan's 007 franchise that he wanted to do that they did not let him do. Think about it. He gets trained with the secret society to be a spy. It gets into the world-ending thing, and then so just like that, this movie, you don't need the wrestling because this could have just been a movie about a family. You could have gave the dad any job, and you could have made the dad a corporate CEO, and his sons are trying to get into the corporate business, and it still works.
It would have been exactly like Succession.
And it still fucking works. But the fact that it is a wrestling movie, at least for me and other wrestling fans, got people out to go watch it. That's what the wrestling aspect does. It makes it more to where people care about it. Also, I think the success of this movie shows that there should be other wrestling movies.
I mean, look, I personally don't care about, like, the thing is,
you care about a good story. That's what you care about.
I like a good story, but if the story is mainly about them wrestling, I would not care. No,
see, that's the thing. I'm going to give you a list and tell you what it would be about, and we'll see if we'll get a Reg A or a Reg Nay.
Then really they can just all be Untolds for me.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it needs to be a movie and not a documentary. And I'll tell you why, because this was a documentary before it was a movie. Dark Side of the If you want to know more about the Von Erichs, go watch The Dark Side of the Ring season 1. It's on Hulu. I think it's episode 3 or 4. No, but let me for sure, because of how sad it is. But there's things that the Iron Claw left out. there's another brother who committed suicide. There was a sister who was sick. There was so much fucked up
has
shit.
A lot of tragedy. A lot of tragedy.
And that gets us into the movie. And one last thing for initial thoughts. I saw the documentary first, and I was like, do I really need to see this movie? And if you're a wrestling fan who saw the documentary, you need to see this movie because the way the movie tells the story, it just adds to the layer and to the lore of the Von Erichs. Now, is this a movie I will see multiple times? Probably not. Like, I honestly,
the subject matter is just so depressing that it's very
and
hard
see,
to watch
unlike another movie that we reviewed, me and you, for Bros Who Binge, which was Martin Scorsese's how am I blanking on the
Killers
name?
of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon. That was a movie that not necessarily the subject matter was too dark. It was like the movie was so long. And it was just I don't know if I need to watch this again. This necessarily wasn't a long movie, and it's good enough to rewatch. It's just so sad.
Yeah, the thing is, the story is the reason you can't rewatch this so many times. Whereas Scorsese, the simple production and length
was too much.
Like I can't strap it for 4 hours.
And see, let me say this. I think if they had more wrestling in this movie, I could rewatch it because it's not
about the wrestling.
I understand, and I agree with you. It's not about the wrestling, but I think if he had a bigger budget, you could have put more wrestling in it and would have made it more so. Okay, so right now it's an Oscar bait film. We would both agree. It's about the story.
Yeah.
I think if you put an Oscar bait's a negative connotation. Let me just say it's an Oscar-worthy film.
I don't think Oscar bait is a negative.
Okay, I was just making sure. But I'm gonna say Oscar-worthy because I know some people do. Yeah. If you put more wrestling in it, it's not only an Oscar but a blockbuster as well. It needed a little bit more. Reg.
I think if there's but the thing is, if there's more wrestling, it loses the Oscar worthiness of it. Let me tell you why. Because this actually goes to like another analogy. So do you know why Rolex doesn't sponsor like soccer or NFL games?
Yeah, because they want to be selected.
Because they want to be associated with this high class selectivity. And wrestling is very much a 4-man sport.
Like, sure, I agree. It's not necessarily high class.
It's not particularly high class. And so if it really was just a Ric Flair WrestleMania style thing, it wouldn't get the attention to the story that it was trying to push. And I think the Academy would have looked negatively on that because they would have said,
I got one more
counter.
A bunch of guys I got one more counter before we drive into the movie. Do you remember the 2009 film The Wrestler? That was an Oscar-worthy film. It was nominated. That film had more wrestling in it than this. And that film showed how you can put more action into it and still keep your story. I'm not necessarily saying more wrestling matches. I'm just saying show the matches in a better fashion and just give us a little bit. Let me tell you, give us a little bit more action to cleanse our palate for the very heavy material. Like, I think if you would have showed a little more of the brothers in the ring having fun, doing what they love, I think it only adds to it. And I'm not saying
it's wrestling fun.
I'm not saying, okay, but see, to them it was. Like, and I know during the movie they say it is, and then they show you how much it took from them. But I think if you show them having the fun, when the moments of the pain come, it makes it that much more heartbreaking because these guys loved what they did. See, let me tell you why. It's because they loved it. They would go and kill themselves for the thing they loved. And I think they needed to show. And my final thing is, the fun. But see, let me say, I disagree. I think if you show more of them doing what they love, when the pain moments happen, it hurts because think about this. If you're someone doing what you love, but when you do what you love, it hurts you, that's pain. And I would have related to that. And I think it would have been a little more special because you just see as much as they love it, it's killing them. It's killing them.
But you see, I think the thing is this.
Let me give you one scene. Let me give you one scene. The scene where Zac Efron jumps off the thing and he's stuck, and people think he's selling, but he was really seasoned up. He couldn't move his body. Yeah. And that was powerful when the moment happens after where he's talking to his dad because we got to actually see it. I think if we got to see Hunter Dickens or what's his name? Harris Dickinson going through some of the pain before he's put in the steroids. I think we see Carrie. See, I think they didn't show us enough of Carrie for Carrie's character to matter more. I think Carrie's character would have mattered more if they would have given us some of that stuff he did.
Okay, this is my count. This is my big counterpoint to that.
Go ahead. This is the final one.
The movie was not about the glorification of wrestling.
Sure, I agree.
Or the kids' connection to wrestling.
It was about the brothers' connection to themselves.
It was actually the brothers' connection to their father's expectations of what they should be.
Sure, sure. And they also had,
because if you think about it, they were so referential to dad every scene of the movie.
It was the brothers' relationship to their dads, what he built and their expectations on them, which was wrestling. Yeah. But it's also the brothers' relationships to themselves and how their relationship to themselves kept them able to do what their father wanted them to do. Because if they didn't have each other, they don't be able to do it. And that's why I think you need the wrestling.
I don't. That's why I don't think you need the wrestling.
All right. Let us know in the comments. Do you think with this movie? I think you just. Let me just be honest. I think you just don't like wrestling, and I think it's a hating thing. because I do think it adds to the film. I'm not saying, and let me say this.
But people you could always make the bias that since you like wrestling, you want wrestling, and I don't like wrestling.
No, but see, I'm not saying add more wrestling scenes. I don't want more matches.
No, but you mean like you want
the scenes you have.
More improved and detailed wrestling.
I'm not saying detail. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying the scenes you have, pull the camera back because it's so zoomed in on the faces of them to where you don't see the match.
It's not about the match.
I understand that, but you got to have some of the action.
You're taking you see what you're doing. You're taking away the. Okay, again, this is a detailed character study into Kevin Von Erich and his relationship to his brothers.
And you have to know.
We do not care about his fight against Rocket Man from Spotsylvania, Texas.
But it matters.
No one cares. No one cares.
Let me tell you, it matters because that's a part of their relationship, what bonds them. Let us know in the comments. We're off.
Okay,
let us know in the comments because we won't change our minds. He thinks the amount of wrestling they had.
I was fine. It was fine.
I think that not that they necessarily need more. I think they needed to show what they loved in a better fashion. That way, when they take it away, it matters more. Also, it gives us a palate cleanser because you got to admit, the film is so dark. There's very little room of brevity.
Don't get me wrong. The film is very dark.
That's another reason why I want action, because it gives you a breath.
You see,
you need a breath.
What should have been improved were the relationships between the characters, not the brothers, but like between Pam and Kevin and his wife. We needed to see a little bit more of Pam and Kevin. We need to see the mom.
See, look at you.
Also, we needed to see like. The thing is this, I don't know what the mom's relationship to the boys were.
Okay.
Like the mom, all I know is that she attends funerals. They should have developed mom.
I agree. But let me tell you why they didn't do that. I
get it.
Because if you do, you have to go into the abuse that Fritz did to the thing, and it makes it even darker.
It makes it even darker.
Because they don't, and I think because Von Erich didn't have as much of a hand in it, they just gave it its blessing. I think they didn't want to tarnish that blessing by coming out and shitting on the dad. I think they were just being respectful. I think they showed how dark he was, but didn't go into the dark side of the ring. He was abusing the family. Like, I think they did it in a way to where the family would have thought it was tasteful. Now, is that fair?
Is that fair? I mean, because you're giving Fritz an out. Because remember,
you are giving him an out.
His career. Fritz played a Prussian Nazi during his career.
He was a villain. He was a horrible
wrestling
person.
In Canada. Like he was. Granted, he created the kind of modern heel type thing. But like, remember, he went full tilt. Like,
but he was. It's not even about what he did in the ring.
Watered down Fritz.
They did, because it's not about what he did in the ring. It's about what he did to his family outside of the ring.
Outside the ring.
But when you hear the interviews of the family when they're talking about the film, they love it and they think that. And this is what the two brothers who wrestle said word for word. We love our grandpa. We know he has issues. We know he has problems. But at the end of the day, he was still our grandpa. We love him. In the way that they portrayed it, I think was the best that they could without
going full.
Yeah, without just outright saying he's a horrible person. The film lets you decide for yourself, kind of like we did. Is that fair to Kevin, Carey, and the mom and everyone who went through it? I don't think so. Because me personally, in biopics, I think you have to show the good and the bad.
You have to be as real as possible in biopics. And like, I feel as though like,
and I think that's why this film is in my movie of the year. Not to spoil our Bros Who Think awards, but I think these things that I'm mentioning hold the film back.
Yeah.
The action, the fact of you're not diving in the Fritz more, the fact that you're not diving into Fritz more, showing Fritz who he truly was.
Yeah,
And not
really,
giving us more of the mom's relationship with the boys, because the mom seemed just like this, I don't want to say neglectful, but just out of sight, out of mind. Like she just didn't care about the family unless she was needed.
Like I said, like she was just a lady who attended funerals for me
and cooked food, cooked pancakes.
Cooked food that no one wanted to eat. And like
they wanted to go get burgers.
They just but the thing is like with Fritz, I just think that like they essentially just made him over expectations dad instead of like showing who Fritz was.
Over expectations dad that was very
predatory,
very mentally abusive. I'll say this: abusive. They nailed the mental abuse. They did not show the physical abuse.
No, they nailed. Look, the passive aggressiveness of the dad in the movie, great.
And by the end of it, it's no more passive aggressive. It's just aggressive.
Yeah, no, now he's just straight aggressive at that point. Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
So, all right, let's go over. That was our intro into the movie. It was long, but that shows you how well this movie is made and how much Reg and I enjoyed when we went see. Let me give you the brief plot line of the movie, or the brief synopsis of the movie, and then we'll get into it. This is a little background. The Iron Claw is a 2023 biographical sports drama. Wouldn't even say that. I'll just say it's a biopic. Filmed, written, and directed by Sean Durkin. He did all three. Based on the life of professional wrestler Kevin Von Erich and the Von Erich family. The film stars Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen Wright, Harris Dickinson, Maura Tierney, Holt McCallany, and Lily James. The Iron Claw premiered in Texas at the Texas Theater in Dallas on November 8th, 2023. That's how you know it's an Oscar film, because November 8th. It was released in the United States on A24 on December 22nd and is scheduled to be released in the UK on February 9th, 2024. The film received positive reviews from the critics. It was named one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the National Board of Review, as it should. In 1979, the Texas NWA heavyweight champion Kevin Von Erich worries that his father, WCCW owner Jack Fritz Von Erich, is pushing his youngest brother Mike away from his musical ambitions. The brother David makes his wrestling debut with Kevin in a tag team match against Bruce Brody and Gino Hernandez, where Kevin meets and starts a relationship with a woman named Pam. He tells her about the Von Erich curse that killed his oldest brother Jack Jr., supposedly brought on by Fritz changing his last name from Atkinson to his mother's, whose family had suffered constant tragedy. Kevin fights the world champion Harley Race to put himself in the lead for the championship contender, but he's brutally beaten. Race wins with an attack and is disqualified. A disappointed Fritz is delighted when David displays a natural talent for showmanship while trashing Race in the summer of the 1980 Olympics. I'm just giving the brief summary. The summer of the 1980 Olympics. Yeah, I know. The summer of the 1980 Olympics, we see Carrie come back home. Carrie then joins the family business. The trio debuts. They're really picking up steam. Then once they get to their high point for David to go win the championship, he passes away due to flying in Japan, and he died of enteritis. Kevin then begins training Mike, who Mike gets badly injured right after David. Mike then goes into a coma, wakes up, becomes slower due to his loss of brain function. He then kills himself, and it's all downhill from there. Once Mike dies, the family then spirals. We see Carrie then kill himself, and then the movie follows Kevin's way to redemption, to picking himself up and leaning on his wife and finding out the true value in the world isn't wrestling, it's his family and his love for his family. So I tried to not be as deep towards the end.
This man put the entire story in the synopsis. He could have just said wrestling movie, a lot of tragedy, and then we got into it and explained
All right, let's get into it. All right. So what was some of your favorite scenes for the best scene category?
So some of my favorite scenes. I'm not gonna say my best yet. Favorite scene, I love.
Yeah, we could just talk about the movie and some of the scenes.
Yeah, so the steroid scene where they have the multiple faces.
Yes,
shows Kevin.
Yes. That shows how good Sean Durkin is as a director by incorporating his own style. Like Reg says, you see each each of the three brothers, and their faces is phasing out, and what they're doing is phasing out. You can't tell, but what you can tell is one of them shooting up steroids. But the point isn't that one of them shooting up steroids, because the thing is, it could have been any one of them, is what the film's telling you. Because at this time, they were in so much pain that any one of them could have been doing what this was, because they were trying to meet their father's expectations.
Yeah.
And become a champion.
Another good scene is I don't remember which dinner table scene it was, because there were a couple of dinner scenes, but it's the dinner scene where like you can tell that Fritz and the wife are like so critical of Pam. Whenever Pam's trying to like get to know the family, and they're all just like
the
talking
first
shit about
dinner.
her. Yeah, and it's when, oh no, I don't even think it was dinner. It might have been like a lunch, because Mike talks about his music, and his dad just like
that was the
starts
first lunch. Yeah.
And his dad just starts shitting on it, and I'm like, bro, just let Mike express himself, because obviously he was a damn good music artist. Dude could play the guitar, play the drums, did the whole thing.
But because it's not wrestling, because it's not manly,
wrestling, it's not like you said,
it's not
sport.
Considered
it's not sport.
Patriot. Yeah, because it could have been any sport. It could have been, because Carrie was an Olympian, football,
he was a football
basketball.
Player,
It could have been baseball. It could have been anything that Fritz deemed masculine and deemed manly. He didn't think the arts were manly, even though he played music. I'm guessing his father passed that trauma on to him. That's what it sounded like when the mom was explaining that. Let me give one. We'll go back and forth, because you just going through.
I'm giving my best scene. Then after that, I'm done.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, my best scene: Carrie paying the ferryman, crossing into heaven with his brothers. The most beautiful scene of the film.
There you go. I could have. All right, I'm gonna give some scenes. I definitely agree. Because this was a dream, you find out in one of the interviews with the Von Erichs that Kevin had a dream that he saw. He was on the other side. We don't see this, but he was on the other side of the lake. So basically, it's a big lake. There's Kevin on one side, and on the other side, you see the other brothers, which is David, Mike, and the oldest brother who passed away, Jack. You see Carrie on a boat. Carrie is going on the boat to get to the other side. He takes the quarters out of his pocket, puts it on the seat to pay the ferryman. But you never see the ferryman. He puts it there, and then he walks to the other side. His brothers hug him, and it's a sign to say, "Don't worry, Kevin. We have him now." That scene was beautiful. And the way Sean Durkin did it, I think it was better the way he did it than Kevin's dream, because we didn't need to see Kevin. The point wasn't about Kevin. It was to show that the brothers are in a better place now together, and Kevin can be happy. So that was a beautiful scene. I agree. The scene with the steroid scene where they're all showing all three faces, I thought that was a beautiful scene. The match between Harley Race and Kevin was great. And then at the end, when David takes the mic and starts talking, you really see the pain in Kevin, like, damn, I fucked up. But to have that scene, you have to have the scene where Kevin fucks up his promo before, because that shows that Kevin can't talk. Kevin's a great wrestler, but Kevin can't talk. David is the full package, and David does that. And then the thing that ties it all together is when Fritz chooses David to be the world champion person from the family. And you see Kevin's reaction when they tell him, and David is more sympathetic than Carrie, because Carrie was like, fuck yeah, David. Like, I can't wait for my turn. I don't care I'm coming next. But David realized, no, this was Kevin's dream, and I kind of fucked it up. But not really, because Kevin couldn't talk. So it was like David had to step up. So it was a catch-22. I thought those three scenes in sequence, if you look at them together, told a beautiful story between the relationship of Kevin and David. Another scene I got that I like is the end where Carrie gifts the gun to Fritz. You then see Carrie call his brother to get the gun to kill himself. I thought the film should have shown Fritz then killing himself with this gun, because that's what happens in real life. But they didn't go that dark, because I think it was foreshadowed, and you see the hints of it. But yeah, no, Fritz uses the same gun that Carrie did to kill himself.
Does he?
I'm like 90% sure. Let me look that up.
That was one of the things that I was questioning, because I don't remember that.
Let me see real quick. Let me look. I'm gonna view this really quick.
I think the other brother. Might have
Oh,
recently died. Not
I
Fritz.
might be thinking of the other
I think
brother.
Fritz died.
Oh yeah,
Like
Fritz
later.
died of lung cancer, brain and lung cancer, and
Yeah, I think the
yeah,
other
I'm
brother
thinking
uses
of
the
the
gun.
other. Yeah,
It's the
that's what it
unnamed
was.
brother in the movie. Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're absolutely right. But the scene with Carrie killing himself, and then
yeah.
Kevin telling Fritz, "You did this. I told you about it. You just said you just didn't care like you always do," and he's choking him out. And at that moment, Fritz realizes, "Damn, I've been a shitty father, and me and Kevin's relationship is done."
Well, yeah, because I mean, Fritz and the mom essentially said that, like, oh, since we had all these boys, they
Y'all
can
folk,
all like,
y'all raise each other.
yeah,
We don't
yeah,
raise
they can
y'all.
all just like raise, yeah, because like since they
Mm-hmm.
had them like, I guess spaced apart enough, like the oldest kid would eventually raise the next kid, and the next kid, and the next kid,
Mm-hmm.
and like, but
It
like
would
that really
literally
doesn't
be
like
like if mom if
if
me
you
Landon
raise
you
Landon,
and then
and
Landon
then my
raised
brother,
you and then
and
yep.
yeah, yeah, so like it essentially would be like
Mm-hmm.
that, but like that would not work. Like it never works. Like that's why parents exist. Like
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. And you are right. It is the younger brother because it went David and then it went Mike. Hold on, because I
David,
have the
Mike, Carrie, brother, because Jack died whenever he was 6. Jack is the
mm-hmm.
first kid who dies. Yeah,
Yep, I have, and it's the unnamed, which they don't show.
yeah, the unnamed
Which
brother.
I get why they didn't show it. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, bro, we went through all these deaths, and
the
y'all
thing
want
is
us to
like
see another one?
it's very hard to have three
Chris Von
suicides.
Erich. Chris
Like
was the unnamed brother.
yeah, dog, it's very
Chris.
hard to have three suicides and then a child who died by drowning in like a
Mm-hmm.
puddle of water.
And then
Like
having
that's
the evil dad die from
yeah, and
lung
have the evil
cancer.
dad die from like they couldn't do that like so
Mm-hmm.
much.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. You are right. All right, let me pick my best scene. I wanted to give some more. I think the Bruiser Brody match with Gino versus David and Kevin was really good because it shows the relationship between David and Kevin and how they worked as tag team. And I think that improved the movie because you got to see how close David and Kevin were and how much they loved this. I think if you would have added a little bit for carrying them, give us a little more wrestling, I think it would have made it stronger. But that's a great scene that I like. I like the introduction of Carrie when you show him from coming back home from the Olympics. Also, the scene before that where you get Fritz saying who his favorites are and ranks them, and it's like it could
Yeah,
always change. That was
that was
crazy.
a wild scene whenever he told Mike that he was last.
Last to his face.
Also, they even named the unnamed brother in that scene. Like
Yeah,
he
you
said
did.
Chris. He said Chris, and then Mike was last, and he said, "Oh, but you can always move up." I'm like, first of all, having a PPR ranking system is crazy to tell your children. Like,
Yeah,
first of all, it's horrible to have.
it
Second of all,
is
to tell your children that you're
to their
falling, you're
face.
slipping in the rankings to
Yeah,
their face, and the mom is just
I don't
like,
fuck with
"Yeah,
that. I don't fuck with that at all. Like at
that's
all.
horrible."
But also the scene that you talked about where Fritz just bashes into Mike at the
Bro, yeah,
dinner scene in
yeah,
front of the whole family. And none of his
everyone.
brothers step up for him. No one. And
The
that's the
way
thing
that
throughout the entire movie is they are terrified of Fritz. And you see it in the
yeah,
scene where Kevin finds out that his dad has been cooking the books and hasn't been
yeah,
paying him the right, been stealing from him, but yet he
yeah,
didn't want to confront him. And that's why when he's choking him out, it's all the anger that he's built up throughout all the years, and he just
yeah,
lets it out in that scene. And that's why that scene's so powerful.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna go with I like the three vignettes, which I think is beautiful as a director. It shows him. I like the scene you chose of the ferryman, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
fair
with
man.
Zach. I'm gonna go with Kevin choking Fritz after Carrie kills himself, which leads
Uh,
into your scene. And I think
yeah,
it makes that scene so much better because at that moment, Kevin is able to find peace because he finally let out all that anger, all that frustration, all that hate that he had for his father. He lets it out and ends his relationship with him at
yeah,
that point.
yeah,
Oh, also, real quick, the scene. See, I don't know, man. There's so like we said, the steroid scene, the scene you chose, the scene I just said. But this other scene is powerful when he sees his boys playing catch and he starts crying, and his
yeah.
boys come hug him and
Because
they're like,
he thinks
"Dad,
about
be
his brothers.
strong."
Yeah,
And he's like, and they're like, he's like, "Nah, I shouldn't do this. Men shouldn't cry." And the boys are like,
and
"No, Dad, we cry. You can
and
cry to us." I
that
thought
was
that
the
was
saddest
powerful.
thing. It was
Yeah.
very sad because you realize that no matter what Kevin, but we're gonna say Zach for this part because I don't think Kevin really feels this way. But like throughout the entire film, Kevin still kept the mentality of his dad,
because he
where he
was
says men don't
brainwashed.
cry. Where he
Yeah.
says like men don't cry. Like imagine you
It
going
took
through
it took
losing
his
all of your
sons.
brothers, losing.
Exactly.
Imagine
And that's
losing
the
your
scene. Wait,
entire
we didn't even
family.
mention it. The scene where he's like, take off all your sunglasses. We're not crying. Men don't cry. We're showing that the Von Erichs
Yeah,
are tough. And he kept it with him till the end. And it took his sons telling him,
yeah.
no, Dad, it's okay to
Dad,
cry. Let it
it's
out,
okay to cry.
for him to finally be at peace with his emotions or his sadness.
Yeah.
Because he was at peace with his anger after he choked out.
Yeah,
But it was peace with his sadness.
Yeah, he made peace with his anger, but this was making peace with his despair. Yeah.
Such a great movie, man. I think the four best scenes are literally that scene, the choking of Fritz,
Really,
the ferryman, the ferryman scene, and then the scene of them doing the steroids. I think those are the four best scenes. You can't go wrong with any of those four. All
now,
right.
before hold on, before we do our categories, can we get, because I know we don't usually use this that often, but the are we sure?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are we sure? Who casted Ric Flair? I just would like to know.
That's one of my cons. Wait, that's one of we don't have to are we sure that that's a con. I think Ric Flair was horribly done. I think out of all the things to show wrestling, you're gonna show this guy doing a horrible Ric Flair accent. First off,
he doesn't look like Ric Flair. First of all,
I'm not even worried. The look-alike part is last. We got things that leads up to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The accent. What? At some points it's Carolinian. At some points it sounds damn near British. At some points he was doing too much. Next, the vocal inflections. Why was his voice so? Why was he trying to stress his voice anger being deep? That's not how Ric Flair talked. He didn't understand how Ric Flair cut a promo. He thought, "Oh, this is anger." No. He didn't give the charisma, the swag. Yeah, he was just, I'm mad. I'm Ric Flair. I'm mad. And then his move was, whoa, what? You can't, whoa. Like, you can't do that. I'm sorry, but that, I don't know what Sean Durkin was doing with that.
You know what I think it was? I think it was like they were getting the like budget cut time, and they were like, "Look, we need Ric Flair.
It is what it is. Yeah,
it is what it is. He's only going to be in 5 minutes." So they were like, "All right."
Yeah, that was the worst part of the movie. Honestly, I know we never talked about that all after the movie, but I hated Ric Flair. Hated it.
I don't know what they did to Ric Flair.
But see, they got the other wrestlers right. Harley Race was good. The Freebirds were good. I think the promo Gino did was good. But you kept that Flair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Out of all the things to keep.
Also, the fact that like Sean Durkin consulted a lot of wrestlers, I don't know how he didn't get Ric Flair. Like, I don't know how he couldn't have been like, Rick, find me your guy.
All right, let me tell you.
Oh, it might have cost too much.
I don't even think that it cost too much. Ric Flair lies a lot, bro. You can't like. And that's the problem with when I give you my that goes in the problem when I give you my predictions of who should get a wrestling movie. I think Ric Flair should, but do you take the word of Ric Flair? Because Ric Flair lies. Hulk Hogan, you cannot trust anything Hulk Hogan says. It's all lies. And it's like, I don't know if Rick would have been perfectly honest about what it was, but you should have consulted Ric Flair. And I think Sean Durkin did such a good job having Chavo Guerrero be there to tell the story, to make sure everything in the wrestling was perfect. Chavo, how didn't you know about Ric Flair? See, I'm not blaming Sean Durkin. I'm going to blame Chavo Guerrero. Like, you are part of Los Guerreros. You were in the Attitude Era. You saw Ric Flair growing up. How is that what you just say, oh, yeah, Sean, that's right? Huh?
I think it was just because, like,
I think it might have been like they was hating on Rick. And
not
necessarily Sean Durkin. Chavo Guerrero was probably hating on Rick.
But I think it was because, like, I think it's because they also know that, like, Ric Flair is probably one of the most known wrestlers. And so you didn't want to, like, create a perfect
carbon copy.
Because people would have
been trying to tell your own version of maybe the guy was taking liberties. But that was a bad time to take liberties.
That was a bad. I don't know who played that Ric Flair, but sir, he take that off your IMDb.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that as a credit. That was literally the worst part of the movie. Honestly, there's no other part of the movie that has me like, it was to bad. That was bad, flat out.
It was pretty bad.
All right, so we got our best scenes. Let's get to best actor of the movie. Who you got?
Zac Efron. Zac Efron playing Kevin.
And I don't even think you can even give, like, I think Jeremy was great, and I think every Jeremy scene was powerful, but I don't think he was in the movie enough to give him the role.
I think Sean did that perfectly. That like none of the other brothers dominate.
Outshine, yeah, it's Kevin's story.
You think about it, he actually broke it up almost perfectly. The first brother got 25. In the beginning. Mike got 25.
Mike was in the middle.
And then Kerry got 25. And like, so I mean, this really is Kevin's story. And Zac Efron killed it, minus his intense steroid use.
Zac Efron, I think Zac Efron should be nominated for an Oscar behind this movie. Like 100%.
Honestly, I would never say Troy Bolton should get an Oscar. But look, right now,
this is
I don't think he'll win.
It's between him and Killian.
It's between him and Killian. But look, props to Zac Efron.
This is his career is
Neighbors guy.
Well, like, I mean, he did Ted Bundy really well.
He did Ted Bundy really well, but like again, it's a Netflix
that was still face acting too, though, because he was a pretty serial killer. This is the first time Zac really got into his actor bag. It wasn't about his face; it was about what he was doing. His
those haircuts were not helping.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, this is Zac's best role for sure. I'm with you. Zac is my best actor of the movie as well. But I do want to shout out Holt McCallany as Fritz von Erich. My goodness, that guy was incredible as Fritz, man. Like, as the dad, he portrayed evil well, but he was so like gaslighting and maniacal. Because at times it was like, is he loving? But then it's like, no, he's not loving at all.
I always knew he wasn't loving.
No, we knew he was, but I'm just saying, at times the way the actor was so good, it was like, does he love his kids? Like, at points he would make you question how good he was acting.
I mean, you personally might.
I think Fritz was great. So you don't think Holt was great? No.
Holt was great, but he's not my second best actor.
Who would you say the second best is?
Is Harris
as David
Dickinson.
David was good.
Think about it.
I think Jeremy was better than him, though, bro.
But you're thinking. But think about it like this: imagine a British actor who's only done his biggest credit is doing Kingsman, and it wasn't even the best Kingsman, to come in and be the most American brash mouthpiece of a wrestling family, having to adapt the Southern Texas accent, and honestly,
he
had
did
the
a good
emotional
job.
Intelligence to empathize with Carrie and all the brothers. Because if we're being real, outside of Mike, David is the heartbit of that group.
No, look, David is the one that Kevin connected with the most. And see, that's why because in real life, Kevin and Carrie had such an impactful relationship. And I think they got it right in the scene where they're fighting each other when Carrie loses his leg. But I think if they would have did a little more with Carrie, take away some of the Mike, because we got Mike, so we understand what's up with Mike. Take away some of the Mike, give more to Carrie. I think the suicide of Carrie is more impactful. I think Jeremy Allen White should have got more screen time. I really do.
I think he got actually like the right amount of screen time. Because remember,
you know that scene where they're fighting Zac Efron and he hurts his leg. It's like they should have dived more into it because that's why he killed himself. Like his leg fucked with him.
But then you also forget that they told his whole college phase and getting denied by the U.S. Olympic trials.
But I remember
that.
I know. But see, that's me knowing how important the back end of the wrestling was to his to Kevin. No, I'm not even talking about Carrie. No, it's about their relationship. I understand that. And I'm saying that if they would have showed more Carrie, it impacts the relationship because, yes, David has the strongest relationship with Kevin out of the three. But Carrie's relationship is just as strong with David, but a different way. And I think it needed to be shown.
Honestly, the thing that Carrie should have gotten more screen time for was his break to the WWE, the other federation.
Yes, with his leg. I would agree with, because but I don't agree with that caused that you understand, because I think that needs to be shown because his
I just found it weird that they cut straight to like him in another league. Like I just found that weird that like
and you needed to show
this movie has some
of how he was faulty. And he thought he was damaged goods transitioning to that league because of his his prosthetic. I know, but you need to show it. Don't tell.
Again, it's not about Carrie. It's not about Carrie.
I know, but that impacts his relationship with Kevin. But I digress. I'm with you. Zac Efron's best actor. I got Hope McCallany as a surprise second.
Harris
and then I would go Jeremy, and then Harris, and then Lily James. I think Lily James did a great job. I just don't think they gave her anything to do.
I mean, Lily James
she was just there.
Was just the wife, and
yeah, sure.
Like they really did the women dirty in this movie.
They didn't give them, but that's how it was, though.
But that's how it was.
I think if you don't show the abuse, it's like you can't show anything else. It's like that's all. Honestly,
I think Sean might have been like, okay, well, their neglect and like sidelining kind of mirrors the abuse that that happened.
Yeah. And honestly, Lily had a great part because she brought Kevin back to reality. She brought Kevin back to life with his kids, and I think they did a good job of showing that.
I'm not gonna say a woman did it because she had kids. Like, I'm
not saying a woman did it because I think her and the kids brought Kevin back to life. That's what I'm saying.
I think Kev's family brought.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, let's get to sixth man of the movie. All right, these are the starters.
We need starters. The brothers:
Zach, Kevin, Carrie, David, Mike,
and Fritz.
All right, that's cool. And Fritz, yeah. Well, then the sixth man's Lily James for me. I don't know who else you'd give it to.
Let's see.
Are you giving it to Pam?
Well, Pam is Lily James.
I'm in Doris. Are you giving it to Doris?
The wife?
Yeah. No. I gotta give it to Pam. Okay. I gotta give it to Lily James. I really want to give it to Holt, but we don't have. Because I could say make Lily James a starter and give it to Holt. No, she's
not a starter. She doesn't do enough.
Fritz matters too much to the movie.
You know, six man. This might be an abstract concept. It might not be an actual person.
Oh my gosh! What are you about to say? The fucking
listen.
The suicide? Like, what are you about to say?
the vicious cycle of abuse.
No, I'm not accepting it as the six man. No, give me an actor.
Well, if I have to pick an actual actor, I'm gonna pick the radio announcer who was doing the promos because he gave the guy in the mic. He gave the guy the mic. He also was able to broadcast the break and the switch for Carrie from the WWE something to the other WWE ring announcer. Because I can't give any of the wrestlers anything. Honestly, I should give sex and drugs really as like a six man. Because drugs was heavy.
It's Michael J. Herney is Bill Mercer. Bill Mercer was the fucking play-by-play radio announcer and partner to the WCCW. Oh my gosh, you're giving it to Bill. Oh my gosh. That shows you how outside of the starters, this movie really doesn't matter about the side characters.
This movie really is.
That's why, again, this movie probably could have been 30 minutes longer. Give some more screen time to the other wrestlers and show the wrestling and show the acting. I think it would have made the side characters stronger.
I would not sit through 2 hours of extra wrestling. I'm just like,
I'm not saying extra. I'm telling you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have because it would have been great action. It would have been great action story.
No, listen. You really see wrestling as like action, right? I don't.
But like. You see it as a play. It would have been perfect. You'd have been like, oh, they're acting. They're doing the play.
but seeing like a double agent, I'm like, okay.
It wouldn't have been. It would have been like jumping off the side of a fucking.
Their signature double leg kick was spammed in every wrestling scene.
I know they did the drop leg, but I'm saying they would also did the fucking 360 flip off the thing and splashed. Like we could have got some fire. Again, it just goes to our sure. Spend the money, Sean Durkin. You could have had a fucking Wolf of Wall Street epic. Make this an epic. It wasn't as epic. It was more grounded. It was more about the family. Which I think was a strong suit. I think it was a strong suit. The
tragedy and suicides of brothers can be made into an epic.
No, you're right. And that's why they did it this way. No, you're right. That's why they did it this way. I'm a fall back. I'm wrong on this. All right. So we did six man. We did best actor. Let's get winner of the movie. I'm gonna say the winner.
Oh my, you're gonna say
it. Man. I'm gonna say the winner is Kevin. I think
there's only one winner.
I think it's Kevin. Kevin.
Unless you want to say the family, like the family.
I'm going to say Kevin because Kevin found happiness. He found his wife. He found his peace of mind. I think after so much tragedy, for at the end of the movie, for you to find a happy ending, that's a win. Also, the mom found painting. She found her love in painting, which I think they could have explored more. And would have gave her a little more depth.
No one cares about it.
No, but I'm not saying about painting. I'm just saying give her a little more screen time to give her more depth.
She could have did that at
yeah,
every
no, it's
dinner
Kevin.
scene.
It's Kevin.
It's
fucking
Kevin.
Kevin.
Because no one else wins in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, loser. I'm gonna say Mike, man. Mike had it like
Mike lost it all.
David had success. David had
Mike
love.
didn't have success.
David had to do. David should have listened to Kevin and not gone to Japan and went to the doctor. If David goes to the doctor, he lives and
he's fine.
And everything's okay. But Mike was never loved except by his brothers. His brothers were the only one who accepted him, but they never stood up for him to his mom or dad. And everything that Mike loved, everybody shit on.
And the thing is that
and then Mike got in a coma and then woke up and couldn't play music. Like the thing he loved was taken from him.
Yeah, but the thing is like when he tried to be David,
it didn't work.
The second he goes in, he has a routine shoulder injury, and then his body overheats, and he goes into a coma.
Because he was never supposed to do that. He was never, and Kevin says it. He should have never been in that ring. He should have been playing music. He shouldn't have been in that ring. He was not a wrestler. Mike's the ultimate loser for me. Who you got as your loser? Mike?
It has to.
It's Mike.
I mean, you could say Carrie.
You could say Carrie, but Carrie did it to him, though. Carrie did it himself. He was drunk driving. He was drinking and driving constantly.
That's his fault.
His brother told him to let me help you get off the drugs. He wouldn't listen. Like he chose that. Mike didn't choose what happened to him. Mike was given these shitty scenarios. Mike never chose anything. Yeah, he was a victim. Exactly.
He's a victim. Mike is a victim.
Mike never had a choice in anything.
Yeah.
All right. So we did best scene, winner, loser, best actor, 6-man. All right. I think. All right. Who do you think this film will benefit the most going into the future? Whose career do you think will be benefited the most from this movie?
Honestly,
who's the winner of the movie that's not a character? Actor, director, writer, whichever person you want, any from the cast and production team.
I have 3.
Okay.
Zac Efron.
And who's your number one? I want your number 1, 2.
My number 1 is Sean Durkin as a director.
Okay.
Sean Durkin as a director. 2 is Zac Efron because now he proves that he can be in serious films and he's not just a bro anymore. And then Harris Dickinson because now he can break out of the English film establishment and try to get. We have
some different. Okay, so my number 1 is definitely Sean Durkin. Sean Durkin showed he is one of the best up and coming directors. He showed that not only can he make a Scorsese-esque film, he has his own voice. That's the beautiful thing. It wasn't just a Scorsese ripoff. Like for example, when Tarantino first came out, you knew Tarantino had taste, but some people said he ripped off the guy who made Le Samurai.
Japanese.
It was the old French movie. Well, it was a combination of a French and
it's a French and Japanese movie. Le Samurai. Yeah.
Yep. And people said it was a direct ripoff, but you saw the talent. Whereas with Sean Durkin, I can't say it's a ripoff of Scorsese. I think it's an homage. And I think you see Sean Durkin has a missed talent. Are there some plot holes? Sure. There's some things he needs to fix.
But I mean, look.
But as a person who filmed it, written it, and directed it, it was perfect. Wrote it, filmed it, and directed it. It was beautiful. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Sean Durkin is my number 1. Number 2, I agree with you, Zac Efron. Whether or not Zac Efron will be a leading man from this, I don't know. But he showed he could be a character. Yeah, he showed put him in Oscar-worthy films, Scorsese films, Tarantino films, Villeneuve films, and have him as a character actor, as a best supporting. He doesn't have to be a lead. He could be best supporting.
Yeah, but like not everyone wants to be this Jesse Plemons, Lakeith Stanfield style.
Sure, but he showed he could do it.
But I think this showed that he can carry a very serious movie.
Yeah, but I think whether or not you want him as the lead, I think that doesn't matter. I think he showed he could be a supporting in an Oscar-worthy film or a lead. I think he just showed he could be in serious films.
There's no way he's getting a supporting if this gets an Oscar. There's no way.
You don't think he could? I think he could.
I think he'll get Best Actor if this movie goes to the Oscars.
Oh no, I'm not saying this is a supporting role. I'm saying the future is he could get serious character actor roles. Like I'm saying, he could get Gary Oldman style roles.
I don't like people always being Clemens
style roles.
I don't like, I get
like
that.
In a big supporting cast. Like I think because this movie does well, he could be in Nolan's next Oppenheimer. That's a big cast movie. I don't think he'll be the Cillian Murphy character, but I think he could be like the Josh Hartnett character. You know what I'm saying? I think he showed he could
I
be.
get it, but I don't like everyone being grouped into this.
Well, I don't necessarily think he's going to be a leading actor in serious movies going forward. I think it's going to be. I think he could. That's the thing. I think he could, but I also think he could be supporting. I think he could be character, or he's gonna take this success and do blockbusters again and fuck it up. That's what I don't want him to do. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying with leads, where you're saying he could be a lead. Yes, I do, but I don't want him to be Mark Wahlberg. I want him to Ben Affleck. After Ben Affleck shit the bed with Daredevil, he started doing better films. No, not necessarily Batman, but he took some character actor roles, then got a lead, and then became a great director and one with Argo. So Zac Efron's my number 2. My number 3 is Chavo Guerrero.
Oh, Chavo Guerrero.
For what he did helping Sean Durkin write and direct the film. He made sure that certain things in the wrestling parts looked real. He made sure certain character things worked. He was given a producer credit. He was given 3 credits. And I think from this movie, Chavo Guerrero also did Glow. Chavo Guerrero worked on the other wrestling movie, the one that came out in 2019, the family one that you mentioned. And now he worked on this one. I think Chavo Guerrero is going to get a big career because he's trying to be a director next. And we'll see if he can direct things outside of wrestling. So my number 1, Sean Durkin. Number 2, Zac Efron. Number 3, Chavo Guerrero, because I'm betting. This is like me betting on the ultimate underdog in the horse race. Because I do think Harris Dickinson is not only just a leading actor, I think this guy's about to get a lot of roles.
Yeah,
Harris Dickinson showed he is an incredible... of course, Jeremy Allen White, young Gene Wilder.
Yeah, the thing is, you see, the reason why I couldn't say Jeremy Allen White is because dude has the bear. Like you can't, you can't say that.
He's the future. Boost. No, he's the future. Like this isn't the career boost. This is him showing. Oh, he could do it again. Like the bear. Go ahead.
Oh no, what I will say is though, honestly, Jeremy Allen White may be starting to surpass the John David Washingtons because I haven't seen them do much.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
No, look,
hold on. Hold on. The best actors today are still Robert Pattinson. John David Washington.
I haven't seen John David Washington in anything.
Okay, but he's still just because he didn't drop anything this year. 2022 was impeccable for him. John David Washington. He's still one of the best movies. And he did Malcolm and Marie, where he acted his ass off.
Malcolm and Marie is a very overrated movie.
Look, John David Washington and Robert Pattinson are the top 2 actors, and then you throw in. I think no, we're not doing that. Look, my top 4 is the 5th we can throw in anybody. My top 4 is still in no particular order: Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, Daniel Kaluuya, and Adam Driver. That's the 4. And the 5th, I think, is Jeremy Allen White. I think Jeremy Allen White surpassed Timothée Chalamet in his like.
The thing is this:
I'm in the top 5.
I dropped JDW to 5. And he's fighting with Timothée Chalamet for 5.
No, Reg, that's horrible.
Let me tell you why.
That's
let me tell you why, dog.
No, Washington dropped The Creator this year, and that was great. That was a great sci-fi film.
I gave the Creator a 5.4.
But it wasn't his fault. I think it was a great sci-fi film, and I think what he did was great.
It was Michael B. Jordan's Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, no, it was better than 450. No, stop that. Stop that. No. John David Washington has not put out a Fahrenheit 451. Let me give you his IMDb since 2020. You got Tenet. We got Black. I'm going to start with Black Klansman, because you could honestly say Monsters and Men was a great film where he was the cop. But we're going to say Black Klansman, Tenet, Ballers. Because he was great in Ballers.
Ballers is a TV series.
But he was great in Ballers. You still got to give him credit because we're giving Jeremy Allen White credit for The Bear.
Yeah, we're giving credit for The Bear.
Malcolm and Marie. He was great in.
I'm not giving that.
No, he acted his ass off.
No,
give him that.
No, I'm not giving that.
So we count that. That's 4. I'm not going to count Beckett. Beckett's not good.
No,
Beckett's not good. Amsterdam, I think people hated because of David O. Russell, because of how bad he is as a person.
I like the movie.
I like the movie as well. And I think John David Washington
JDW is not the center. He's not the center of the movie.
But it doesn't work without. It's Christian Bale. But no, I agree. It's Christian Bale, it's Margot Robbie, and it's John David Washington. It's all three of them. Give them all their credit. We're counting Amsterdam.
No,
we're counting Amsterdam. And I'm counting the creator. And I'm counting the creator.
No.
All right. All right. We'll do 4. So Amsterdam, Malcolm and Marie, Tenet, Ballers, Black Klansman. That's 5.
No.
That's 5. That's 5. I do
Black Klansman,
Ballers, Malcolm and Marie. You said you were counting it. And Amsterdam.
I said I was counting Amsterdam.
Okay,
we're
either counting Malcolm and Marie or the creator. You're giving me one of them. Whichever one you want.
No,
because he acted.
5. It's 4.
He acted. The Rotten Tomatoes on Malcolm Marie is great. He acted his ass off.
That's because of
acted
Zendaya
his
and
ass off.
Euphoria.
No, he was better than Zendaya in that movie. Zendaya was not. No. All right, so that's 5. No. We got 5 hits. All right, who you want me to go over? Jeremy Allen White. Is that who we're going over? Timothy. Because we're gonna go through all the top 5. We're gonna go through all of them right now. We're gonna go through all of them because I got him over Tim.
5.
Because he John David's up there. You pull up who do you think's up on the list as well? Because I got John David, Robert Pattinson, Driver. I think Driver's cemented. Driver's cemented. Yeah. And I think Kaluuya's cemented. I don't think we need to look up Driver or Kaluuya. Yeah, but I think they're both 3 and 4. Would you agree? Okay. I don't think they're 1 and 2. I think they're 3 and 4. I think they're solid because they do have misses, both of them. They have a lot of misses. So, all right, let me go through Chalamet. Wonka, I hear is a kid's movie. What? Bones and All? Bones and All, I'm not counting. No. Don't Look Up, I'm not counting because Don't Look Up was overrated. Dune, I'm gonna count. Are we counting that? That was not a good Wes Anderson movie.
But he got a 3rd vignette.
All right, sure, we'll count that. The King, I'll count. I like The King.
The King.
I'm not counting Little Women.
Okay, fine. We'll take The King.
I'm gonna count Beautiful Boy.
Beautiful Boy.
I'm with you. And that's
Lady Bird. Lady Bird with Saoirse Ronan.
Lady Bird. And Call Me By Your Name.
Call Me By Your Name. Also, I'm a big fan of Hot Summer Nights, but not everyone likes Hot Summer Nights.
I'm gonna give him 6.
Also, he was in a Chris Nolan Interstellar.
Oh my God. No, he wasn't the lead. He was a child. John David Washington carried a Nolan film. And arguably, I'm going to give John David Washington bonus points because I think that's the best Nolan film outside of Oppenheimer. I think Tenet is incredible. No. You don't think Tenet's part of his top 5?
Probably not. No, now that I think about it.
Oh my gosh, you're a Tenet hater. No.
No, I'm not a Tenet hater.
Tenet is beautiful.
No. Look,
Tenet to me, if you look at the top Nolan films, it is Oppenheimer, and that's not recency bias. Oppenheimer's that.
Oppenheimer is genuinely
that damn good. Yeah. Memento, his first one. I think Memento changes the game. Obviously, The Dark Knight. Tenet. And then which one?
Interstellar has to be up there.
Interstellar. I'm not the biggest Interstellar fan. It's definitely not Inception because Inception's a ripoff of 2 animes. Nope, not counting Inception. It's a ripoff scene for scene.
I like 100%. I don't care about the anime.
It's Tenet. It's Tenet's top 5. It is. And I'm not giving it to The Prestige. I'm not giving it to...
Not The Prestige?
No. Look at your face.
That's crazy.
Why are you hating on John David Washington is my question.
Tenet is really only ahead of Dunkirk, personally.
No, Tenet is ahead of all the... don't get me started on Dunkirk. Top 5, we agree. It's Robert Pattinson, number 1. I think he's the best actor in the world.
Robert Pattinson, number 1 right now.
All right.
Of this generation.
Yeah, right now. I would say... You want to say Kaluuya second? Because I can say Kaluuya second.
Driver, then Kaluuya.
Driver, then Kaluuya, then Washington, then White. Give it to me.
No.
What?
Sorry. Chalamet, and then Washington White.
That's disrespectful. No, that's disrespectful. Chalamet has to do more. I'm sorry. John David Washington led a Nolan film.
He had 6 movies plus another.
Some of those were character actors. If Dune is a success, we'll put him above. If Dune is a success, when we review Dune, we'll put him above John David Washington. But right now, the official Bros Who Binge list, right now, because I let you say Driver over Kaluuya. I let you say Driver over Kaluuya. I gave you a voice. You said Driver too.
Better than Driver's objectively has more
than Kaluuya
filmography. Yeah,
bro. Did you not realize Kaluuya killed Sakaar? Like, are we gonna have to go through?
Bro, no.
Are we doing this right now?
No. Listen. Kalua was a great supporter of Sicario. He dominated in Judas and the Black Messiah alongside Lakeith Stanfield.
And,
but
killed.
Remember, Adam Driver
pull up
has
Driver.
some...
Pull up Driver right now. We got to do it.
Right,
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, who are here for an Iron Claw review. This is the end of the review. We have to do this.
This is how we
do things. We just have to do this. So, all right. We'll start. I'm gonna start with Kalua at Sicario because anything before is very much character acting. So I'm starting in 2015.
2015. We want to start 2015. All right.
So I go Sicario, Get Out,
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
We'll talk about Star Wars after all of this. I'm gonna let you only count one Star Wars movie.
No. You can't do that.
No, because The Last Jedi is ass, and so is in Rise of Skywalker's ass. So pick which one. All right, count one. All right, Sicario. All right, I got Get Out.
I got Black Klansman.
Black Panther.
Okay. Marriage Story.
Queen and Slim.
The Last Duel.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
House of Gucci.
Nope.
House of Gucci is a great movie. I don't know why people.
I said no. I'm saying no. No, the movie.
Oh,
We're gonna talk about the movies after.
Okay. Ferrari.
Spider-Verse. That's 7. We had 7.
And then
I'm counting that.
All
right, so we both at 7. So we both at 7.
So
I'm gonna say this. We could both cut out Star Wars and Black Panther. We'll cut out the Marvels and the Disney. Let's cut them both out.
Tied at 6.
Go both ways. Let's tie us at 6 and let's go through which is the best. So Sicario, I'm starting off with that. That's my first one. He's incredible as Reggie. He's the best supporting. He's incredible as Reggie. Give me your first movie.
Support.
The
support one, then, if we're going from there, would have to be.
Let me hear it. Let me hear your support.
It doesn't be Flip.
Oh, it's Black Klansman. Damn. All right, I'm gonna give Driver that one. All right, I'm gonna go my first major lead. Get Out.
Marriage Story.
I'm choosing Get Out, brother.
I'm gonna have to choose.
Yeah, so it's 1-1 now. All right. Let's go to the next one. I'm not gonna choose Widows, even though Widows is great. I'm gonna say Judas and the Black Messiah. Give me one that match that.
Okay, I'll lose out to The Last Duel. I'll lose out to
that. All right. Give me your next one.
House of Gucci.
Queen and Slim.
Okay, no. This is the thing. Okay,
they're both overrated.
They're both overrated.
Yeah, they're both not necessarily loved, but Kalua was incredible. House of Gucci was
no, but bro, look, I will say, although Lady Gaga tried to hijack the show, Driver held his weight. Driver held his weight. I'm
gonna say this is a push for Kalua. So Kalua has a 0.5 lead. A 0.5. Nope. What's bad?
Ferrari. This man is Enzo Ferrari.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so we'll save that one. That's a tie. And then Spider-Verse, he steals Spider-Verse.
He does not, bro. Dude drops
Bobby Brown.
30.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown drops a quick 30.
I'm gonna say let's do Kalua 2. Just for right now.
Okay.
Until we see Ferrari. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The
Okay.
list will change after Dune. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch everything leading up to.
No, listen. I'll broker a deal. If
Okay.
Kalua is 2, JDW is 5 right now, holding the position.
Who's 4? Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White.
All right. So if Driver's 2, can I have David? John. All right. If I have Driver 2nd, can I have Kalua 3rd and Washington 4th?
No, he has to hold 5th if I'm putting Kalua 2.
No, I'm saying if I'm putting Adam Driver 2, can I have John David Washington as 4?
No, because if Adam Driver's number 2?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
I
can settle on that.
We can do that. All right, so this is the official list. Best actors, and I know Schubert agrees. Robert Pattinson, number 1. Or done deal. We don't even have to argue that. Number 2, Adam Driver. Because what he did in Black Klansman, Flip was incredible. Flip was fucking immaculate, and Driver had some. Let me see, Marriage Story. He was incredible in.
Marriage Story was great.
He was the man. Am I fucking up putting Driver 2? Should I put Kalua? Because I'm trying to look at. Let me go look. If
you want Kalua to be 2,
I know what I have to do. I know, but I need to look at his picks. I need to look at Driver's films first because I agree Driver's one of the best actors. But I gotta. Bro, he did 65. 65 was ass. 65 was ass.
But again, that's my creator.
Last Duel.
I actually like The Last Duel with Matt Damon. It was pretty good.
I'll say this. I like The Report. You didn't mention The Report from...
I didn't mention The Report, but The Report was good.
I don't know if I can put... Oh, man. I don't know if I can put Driver 2nd.
Well, if you want to put Kahlua second, you got to push JDW to fifth.
JDW should be 4, and you know he should be 4.
No, man. See, I'm trying to broker a deal. You over here, you're not gonna have me taking either two.
Because man, with Kahlua, I'm just looking at Kahlua's IMDb, and it's like, dude has more hits. Like, I'm like, bro, and Annette.
Listen,
are we not gonna take points off from Driver for putting out White Noise, 65, and Annette? The dead don't die. Nah, Reg, hold on. The man who killed Docio, this nigga got bust, bro. I don't even think it's a deal brokering at this point. This nigga got bust.
Listen. Lyn, again. If you want Driver third,
no, I think you just realized this nigga is a bum sometimes.
No, listen, brother.
Making an executive decision. I'm pulling out, about to put out the executive powers,
and then the owner card.
I'm pulling out the owner. We will change if I will listen to Reg after Dune. Look, I'm gonna say this right now. If Timothy kills Dune, we'll take John David Washington out. If Ferrari is a hit, Driver moves to 2 instantly. If Ferrari is good, when me and you both go see it, Driver's 2, and if Dune's a success, we'll put JDW to 6. So right now the list is as follows: Robert Pattinson, Daniel Kaluuya, Adam Driver, John David Washington, Jeremy Allen White. I think that's fair. And if Ferrari's good, we'll move Adam Driver's to 2. No, listen. If Ferrari's good, we'll move Adam Driver to 2. And if Dune's a success in February, March, we'll move John David Washington to 6. Fair. All right, that's our list. All right, let's rank the Iron Claw 1 through 10. What you got?
My official review that I gave it for work, I gave it an 8.7.
Okay, what you giving it here?
I'll give it an 8.5.
Oh, you went a little lower.
The reason I went lower is because I'm starting to think of the plot holes. That, like,
there are some.
Like, the mother should have been developed. The dad, I agree. Like, although the family said this was the perfect amount, you gotta highlight that. Also, the fact they just excluded the other brother, but I guess that was at the request of the family.
Okay, so you went 8.5. I'm going 8.8, and it rounds up to 8.7. Because it's 8.65, we're going to round. The official score is 8.7. That's the official score. What, 8.65? You want me to give it 8.65?
8.65.
No, but you got to round up.
Straight middle.
All right, since I chose the actors, I'll let you get this one. 8.65, that's the score. Stamp it, the Iron Claw, one of the best of 2023. And speaking the best of 2023, let's toss it back to Schubert for the Bros Who Binge Awards.